TikTok, it's time to rock. You're welcome to another episode of Theories of International Relations. In our last episode on Theories of International Relations, we dealt with approaches to the studies of international relations, and as a result, we dealt with the historical approach, the descriptive approach, the scientific approach, among others. And today, we'll be moving on to Theories of International Relations. But first of all, we need to make it clear, what is the meaning of theory? We can consider theory to be an intelligible system of inquiry which will enable us to organize and offer a guide for our achievement of a research objective. This is to say that theory is a way of organizing our knowledge so that we can ask questions worth answering, guiding our research towards valid answers, and also integrating our knowledge with that of related fields. We need to understand that in general terms, theories have a lot of meanings when it comes to social science, particularly in international relations. Sometimes some scholars see it as a set of norms or values indicating how political actors ought to behave. Sometimes some other scholars see it as a set of proposals of action for the statesman. And other times it is seen as a series of propositions about political behavior derived from either empirical studies or comparative examination. Whichever way, every part of the theory should be consistent and logical. A good theory should also be formulated in a style that is conducive to continual improvement and updating. A good theory is also meant to contribute to an objective understanding of international reality. Apart from all of this, a good theory is supposed to enable us to be able to make predictions that comes to pass. Although it is not necessary for all predictions to come to pass, but at least a number of the predictions should come to pass. And finally, for any theory to be seen as a good theory, for any theory to be seen as a perfect theory, it should help us to arrive at a value judgment. But just as Quincy Wright have said, it would be very, very difficult or almost impossible for us to achieve a perfect theory that will carry all of these qualities of good theories, but at least it should do with some of them. Having said that, a good theory is supposed to assist a researcher to understand a given phenomenon, and significantly, a good theory must be able to describe, explain, and have the capability to predict future occurrence of events. Now, with the insight we have gotten on what theory is, we will quickly talk about the realist theory. The political theory of realism's intellectual found its roots to the writings of Niccolò Machiavelli in 1469 to 1527. As complex as the notion of realism could be, we will try to break it down so that we will understand it from a very simple perspective. Realism is depicting the world as we found it, rather than as we want it to be. As we found the world is talking about what the world is, what it is. So the question should be, what can we see of the world? According to the realist, the world is a dangerous place. It is brutal, it is nasty, it is short and insecure for any human or society or even the international system at large. The second thing that we can see when it comes to the world is that states are important actors in the international system. And apart from the fact that the state is an important actor in the international system, the realist sees states as a rational actor that is taking critical decisions just because it wants to ensure its own survival. In an international system that is anarchical, in an international system that is not safe, in an international system that is brutal and nasty. And finally, the realists believe that the primary aim of the state is to ensure its own survival. No matter what, make sure you survive. And as a result, every state begins to endeavor to make sure that it gets power. The search for power becomes the order of the day, because when you have power, you have the economy. When you have the economy, you use it to build your army. When you have the army, then you have the power. Then you can stand on your own and nobody can come to scare you off your space. The realists see the world as a very dangerous playground that is not meant for smaller countries, because when you are a small country without power, you stand the risks to be manipulated, you stand the risks to be controlled, you stand the risks to be used and to be dazzled around by powerful nations, and on top of that, there is no one big brother that is truly up there to assist you. There is no police of the world to call that a particular nation is threatening me. There is no marshal you can call. There is no governor, no president of the world that can actually assist you, because in true sense, all other countries are also pursuing their own national interest. The core area of the realist is that every nation, no matter what they claim they are doing, they are only promoting their national interest, not really because of you. They are not giving you aid because of you. They are not giving anything out because of you. What they are doing is purposely to promote their own national interests. So as a result, the realist sees the international system as a zero-sum game in which one can win when the other loses. That means that a nation can win when the other nation will lose. When there is any bilateral relationship between two countries, the both of them cannot both have advantage, but one will have advantage while the other will be at disadvantage. This is the same thing as saying that the international system is a win-lose situation. One win when the other loses. So enough of all those stories of United Nations trying to promote the interest of all the countries at large. It is a lie. There is nothing like international organization promoting nations equally. They are only promoting their own national interest. This is the stance of the realists. They believe in exactly what they are saying and not the idea inside of your head. It is just like an example of a table in front of you. You are seeing that table. That means that it is a metaphysical object. You can see it. It is far away, different from an idea that is being constructed in your brain. What you can see is a table, and it is a table. You do not get that table as a result of your thoughts. You do not get that table there as a result of your idea. It is a table you are seeing, and a table it is. And this is exactly why the realists kick against the idea of a supranational organization like WHO, the United Nations, the IMF, and what have you. They don't believe in that. Every of the countries that are in charge of those organizations are promoting their own national interest, and not because of you. They don't do it because of you. They do it because of themselves. In fact, the contemporary realists always believe and say it about the United Nations having 5 permanent seats of the top countries of the world: China, America, Britain, Russia, and France. The reason why they have been there all the way is because of their personal pocket, if not because of their personal and their national interest. Why would they still be there? Why must they be a permanent seat? Why can't they be all permanent seats or all non-permanent seats? With that being said, we just have to talk about the political theory of realism being classified into 2 types. We have the classical realist and we have the new realist. It is very simple. The classical theory are the type of scholars that attach a great significance to man itself. Many things happening in the world is as a result of men. For example, the conflict in the international system is because of human being, not because of any other thing. The human being in charge, human being have been the one making decisions for the state. So they believe that human are the cause of the problems in the international politics. And this is the reason why they have seen man and human being generally as greedy, deceitful, and self-centered. But the new realists came and said, no way, you can't just blame the human nature for the issues in the international politics, but instead the international system as it were is the reason for the problems in the international politics, because the international system as it were is anarchical in nature, and that is why they have a lot of issues in the international system. So the anarchical nature of the international system should be blamed, and this is why states are more fearful, because there is no true world government that have the interest of every nation or state at mind. So every nation or state should make sure that it survives on its own. Nobody to report your case to that we really want to assist you, because the international system has been created to be anarchical in nature. At the tail end of the boat, the classical realist and the new realist sees events as independent and separated from their thinkings and their minds. They both agree that both statesmen and societies and nations should be careful on judging or placing judgment based on ideas, but rather place judgment on reality, what you can see. Thank you for the time you have spared until I come across your way again next time. In case you have not subscribed to this channel, please kindly subscribe to this channel and please press the notification button so that you can always get a notification from us as soon as we post a new video.